Before you buy anything else today, you need to know about the hidden tax that's draining up to $1,200 a year from your account. And this is how it works. It's not a tax. It's a $300 billion global black hole called an interchange fee. Visa, Mastercard, and Amex have built an empire on this. They profit, you pay. You are already paying this fee right now. By the end of this video, I'll show you 3 moves that could help you avoid part of that cost and keep more in your pocket. But first, we have to look behind the curtain. The official name is the interchange fee. Think of it this way. It's a payment made by the merchant's bank to your bank every time you swipe your card. It's supposed to cover the risk that your bank takes on and fund your credit card rewards. That's the story they want you to believe. But here is the truth. These fees are basically uncapped in the US. In Europe, regulations keep them down at about 0.3%. A tiny fraction of what we deal with. Here, they range wildly, anywhere from 1.15% to over 3.15% per transaction. This massive hidden cost is baked into the final price of every single item you buy. The system is designed to make it unavoidable if you use plastic. Let's bring this back to you. Think about your monthly spending, groceries, gas, an online subscription. Every single one of those transactions has this fee attached. It's why your local coffee shop may be charging $4 for a coffee that costs them $3 to make. They have to cover the tax they pay just for the privilege of accepting your payment. The Merchants Payment Coalition estimates the collective cost to the American average family was close to $1,200 in 2024. That's not a number you can ignore. That's money you earned, now quietly disappearing to fund corporate reward programs and executive bonuses. Here's the deep mechanism, the heart of the shadow system. Rewards are bait. Your bank uses the interchange fee money to fund your cashback points and travel perks. This makes you use the card more often. The more you use it, the more the fee is collected from the merchant. It's a closed loop that guarantees profit. The card networks don't just sit back. They actively incentivize higher fees for premium reward cards. They found a legal loophole to extract maximum value from every single transaction. The card company itself might not directly earn the interchange fee. The issuing bank does. The network sets the fee, dictating the entire financial landscape for every bank, merchant, and consumer in the system. You need to understand that this isn't one fee. It's a massive list of fees broken into tiers that are impossible to track. There are different rates for card present transactions versus card not present transactions. That's why buying online is riskier for merchants and they get hit with a higher fee. There are different rates for grocery stores, restaurants, and utilities. Premium reward cards are the most expensive cards to process because the bank has to pay for those massive benefits and they pass that cost to the merchant. Merchants who try to use a tiered pricing model with their processor often get tricked into paying the highest non-qualified rate, making the whole system even more opaque. The most disturbing part about this is the system has been actively defended in court for many years. Since 2005, Visa and Mastercard have been battling class action lawsuits over claims that they conspired to illegally set these fees. Merchants have challenged swipe fees since 2005. A proposed $30 billion settlement in March 2024 was rejected by a judge in June 2024. So the litigation continues and the structure remains intact. The complexity is the defense. They use jargon to shield the system from public scrutiny. They talk about assessment fees, acquirer fees, and the network support. But it's all just packaging for the massive wealth transfer taking place. The system wasn't broken. It was designed this way. If you hate financial traps, hit subscribe. We expose a new one every week. Now, I mentioned the US fee structure is largely uncapped, but there is one major exception you need to know about: debit cards, thanks to the Dodd-Frank Act regulation 2. The interchange fee on most debit card transactions for large banks is capped. For an average transaction, the cap is around 21 cents plus a tiny fraction of a percent. This is a fraction of the cost of a credit card fee. It's proof that regulation can work to protect consumers. if executed appropriately. The core lesson here is understanding power dynamics. Merchants are essentially captives of the card networks. They can't easily fight the fee. They can only pass it on to you in the form of higher prices. When you see a small business owner complaining about swipe fees, they aren't complaining about your reward points. They're complaining about losing 2% of their revenue before they even pay the rent. For the savvy consumer, the lesson is to treat your card use as a calculated decision. Your credit card rewards are real, but they are a bribe funded by the collective price increase on all goods. If you are a zero balance user who pays off your card every month, you are effectively using the system against itself. You get the reward, and the cost is spread among everyone else. But for the system to work, most people have to remain ignorant. Knowledge is your advantage. You can't eliminate the fee single-handedly, but you can control where you pay it and minimize your exposure. This is how you put that $1,200 back into your pocket. First move, the small transaction switch. For small purchases like coffee, lunch, or gas, anything under, say, $20, switch to your regulated debit card or cash. Remember that debit fee cap? You drastically reduce the fee paid by the merchant and minimize your contribution to the hidden tax on everyday items. Stop using a high-cost reward card for a $4 latte. Move 2. If you run a business, ditch the old tiered pricing model that hides fees and switch to an Interchange Plus pricing model. It's the most transparent, allowing you to see the real fee. Better yet, look into legally compliant surcharging where local regulations allow. This isn't passing the cost to the general consumer, passes the cost directly to the consumer who chooses to use the high fee card, making the cost visible. Move 3. Ask for a cash discount at small local businesses. When they offer you 2% or 3% off, you are not getting a discount. They are giving you the hidden interchange fee back. You are helping them keep more of their revenue. By using cash, you are directly signaling that non-card payments are a viable alternative, pushing back against the card network's total dominance. The only true long-term threat to this $300 billion empire is not government regulation, it's competition. We are watching technologies like blockchain and fast real-time payment networks emerge. These systems bypass the card networks entirely by transferring value directly from one user to another. For the first time in decades, the financial industry is being forced to innovate faster than the law can catch up. This centralized hidden tax system may not survive the shift to decentralized, transparent, and direct payments. That is the fight for financial power we are all watching unfold. Now you know the secret. The tax that doesn't exist is draining your pocket, funding an empire built on complexity. But now you have the truth and 3 moves to fight back. Your knowledge is your power.